Betty. Hi. Apple. Hi. I got Apple and Betty right here with me. Oh, the A and B dogs. Look at that. Of course, Sherlock is way down at the S end of the alphabet. That's not so good. We also had Bootsy, but Betty's standing in for the B's. Anyway, we have a very exciting announcement to make regarding a story geared toward children, but I think can be enjoyed by people of any age who are, especially if they're Cavalier fans. If you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you will be familiar with the fact that my wife Katie has written a couple of children's books about a real dog we have named Mulligan. Mulligan lives at our daughter's house. Mulligan, when he was a puppy, suffered a very serious injury that went undetected for a while. He injured his jaw, actually fractured his jaw. It became infected, and in the end, he had to have half his jaw removed. So, okay, I guess it upset Apple a little bit. Sherlock, you can come up if you want. There's plenty of room. Sherlock, up. Good boy. Oh, I think they're gonna kind of. Yeah, pardon the dogs if they do this while I talk. And Mulligan has lived his life very successfully, I must say, with half a jaw, and his tongue hangs way out as a result. Katie told the story, mostly true, but a lot of fanciful things like dogs talking to each other, in her first book called Mulligan Man Finds His Purpose. We like to call him Mulligan Man. She came out with a sequel last year about facing his fears called Mulligan Man and the Deep, Dark, Scary Basement. And that was kind of exciting. And she always meant to write a trilogy. So the third book, believe it or not, Me Without Any Dogs, the third book is now published and available on Amazon.com. It's called The Adventures of Mulligan Man on the Loose. It's so new, I don't have a copy yet. It just was published. You can order it if you go to Amazon.com, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. This is what the cover looks like. And as you can see from with the suggestion of what's pictured on the cover, Mulligan Man leaves his home. He doesn't really leave because he said, that's it, I'm going out on my own. It involves a little showdown with a squirrel and a bit of a chase. And he winds up seeing all sorts of interesting things, meeting some new characters, some human, some not human. It also involves a very scary looking house. But I'm going to just read you one paragraph, and then I want to talk about the reading level. This is right near the beginning. This is just on the second page. The little yellow flowers of the forsythia bush hadn't fully opened yet, but he saw the branches moving. Mulligan crawled under the bush, curious to see what was shaking the branches, and was startled to see a squirrel munching on a nut. The squirrel, a look of surprise on his little face, was so involved with munching on his last winter acorn, he hadn't heard Mulligan clambering through the bush. And Mulligan, never before able to get so close to a squirrel, was excited. Not going to spoil the story. It is lavishly illustrated. You'll find some really good depictions of Mulligan and the friends he meets. And some recurring characters. Uncle Hubble, with whom Mulligan identified very strongly because Uncle Hubble, for a different reason, has had a tongue hanging out of his mouth for pretty much his whole late adult life. But I wanted to read that passage to you so that you could see that it really is very nicely written. I tried to determine the reading level so that we could gear it toward children of a certain age. There are websites you can go to where you submit a piece of text and it will use various scales to determine what reading level it's geared to. But this is interesting because using different formulas, different scales, we got a result of anywhere from third grade reading level all the way up to 9th or 10th grade reading level. I would say probably somewhere in the middle, 5th, 6th, 7th grade would be really the best level. But even for very young children, if you go back to that little paragraph that I just read, you know, the child reading this might not know what a forsythia bush is, but isn't it wonderful if you can kind of provoke a question about, hey, Ma, Dad, what is a forsythia bush? And learn something. So that book is available. The whole trilogy is available on Amazon, and there will be more to follow. I think in a few weeks I will be able to read a little bit more of an excerpt. I can show you what the book looks like. But we're very proud of the trilogy that we've produced, and we hope that you will decide to share in that with us. So, I got no dogs here. Oh, Bootsy. So I hope you found that interesting, and if you're looking for something to surprise a young one with, it's a good read.